Greetings, my fellow travelers. Nicole here with this week's Spirit Therapy Report on the 4th of July. Happy 4th. Happy new moon in Cancer. Happy Mars going direct. It's a very happy day. And while most people are out barbecuing and getting their party on, here I am with you, holiday hair. But this is what I wanted to do. And I actually spent the weekend basically by myself, being productive and very relaxed. Somehow, not at the same time, but in the same 4 days. So I'm enjoying this time by myself, and I thought that I would come in and share with you what I see for the week ahead, spirit therapy style. If you want to know more about the astrology, I went on a whole trip the other night and saw 4 different astrologers that had nothing to do with each other talk about the exact same thing, which was basically what I talked about last week, which is also this Cancer new moon, which I did not talk about last week. So, what does this mean? Cancer new moon in the sign of Cancer, Gemini, also, not Gemini, Mercury also in Cancer. So a lot of feeling, a lot of femininity, a lot of telling the truth, transformation, and a whole new start of our life. I've been calling this day the first day of the rest of our lives, because from the planetary look and from the mind of the spirit therapist, all the work that we've done, especially over the last 2 months, especially over this whole year, and basically for your entire life, is all culminating up until now. Calibrating the tongue with spirit, and this is where we're at. We're at the very beginning of a new cycle, even though there's lots of cycles going on. But from a spirit therapy point of view and through the soul's journey, this day is very significant, because all of the trials and tribulations, all of the digging around in Scorpio, in the shadow, whatever has not come to light so far has now come to light in the past 2 months. And so, what have we learned? Where are we? What do we know? And how do we feel about ourselves? And this is how we learn, through catalysts, through challenges, through experience. And we all know that the sweet side of happiness, relief, health, joy really is that much sweeter when we've gone through some trials and tribulations first. So, here we are on the other side of the trials and tribulations. Odysseus coming back from his travels in the Odyssey. That's us. So, now what? Well, instead of going into the astrology, I wanted to talk about the spirit therapy side of it and the worthiness. Well, the worthiness, because that, to me, is going to be one of our greatest tools to work with for the rest of this year and for the rest of our time on this planet. Because if we can find our own worthiness, and if we can understand that if we're here, we are worthy. If you were born, if you made it here, you were worthy, and you still are, and you always will be. Now, why do I say that? That sounds real nice, but this is why. Anything that you've done that you think is not of the love and the light, we've all done it. We've all not been happy every day. We've been bitchy sometimes. We've gotten angry at people. We've maybe not taken other people's feelings into consideration. We haven't paid attention to everything. Maybe we did some things that we're not so proud of. Okay, but besides that, what are all the things that you've done in the name of love and light? What are all the things you've done for other people? The kindness you've showed, the love you've showed, the support you've given, how much creativity, what have you created artistically in whatever fashion for the world, for people's enjoyment. And I'll ask you this, do you think that any of the things that you've done that are wrong can negate all of those wonderful, loving, light things that you have done? Now, I'm sure there are people out there that have done a lot of things that we would not call very nice. But we all have our so what. Let's talk about the now what. We all got here somehow and got through all kinds of terrible parents, abusive relationships, money gained and lost. We've all been through it. So, and we've all done it to each other. So, now what? Now what is about embracing your worthiness. It's time. It's time. No more excuses. Because without the worthiness, we don't trust our instincts. And without trusting our instincts, confusion is always right there. We're the only ones that know. Of course we seek in the outside world. Of course we look to others to tell us and teach us things that we don't know. Of course. But we have to always judge what others and the world does or says. We have to judge it by our own inner lens. Does this ring true for me, or does it not? Now, sometimes when we're out of balance, things that are true, we feel like don't ring true. Even though even then, there's always a part of us that knows that it's ringing true, and that's why we're getting so annoyed by it. So even when it's not ringing true, or it's setting off all kinds of bells and alarms, we're still understanding, and if we need to off-road in order to get to the truth, well then fine. But we all know we have our inner instincts, and the only reason we don't listen to them is because we think that they don't know what they're talking about. And that, to me, is the most important thing to fix. Even though all the off-worlders talk about there's nothing to fix, and it's true. But if your car has a shoddy gear, piston, whatever, I know it sounds like 1920, but won't you fix it? So if you have a shoddy belief system going, why not fix it? And in the fixing, we learn all kinds of things about ourselves. So that is my message for this week. Worthiness. Find your worthiness. Understand and tell yourself, convince yourself, fake it till you make it. Really start to feel how much God, whatever one source, the creator, the goddess, whatever you want to call the universal orchestration that's happening here, tap in with all of that and know that you are part of that. That is another way to find your worthiness. But in order to tap into that, I believe we have to get past some of these shoddy belief systems and pistons that are just gucking up the gears. So, and that being said, listening to your own instincts, listening and understanding that when you feel confused, okay, this is confusion. Why do I feel confused? Maybe I need some help. Maybe I can't figure it out right now, but I do recognize that this is confusion because I'm going in circles and I don't seem to be feeling better. Okay. So once you go through the confusion, then you can start to think, okay, well, what do I really think? What do I really feel? And that's sort of a poking your head out of the clouds. And there's many ways you can do that. Maybe spirit therapy can help. Spirittherapy.nyc. But in the meantime, it's so funny. It's like I feel like I need to put that out there because, we are here to help. But for some reason, it just feels like, I guess it's that whole money thing, right? Money and the worthiness and the helping each other and why do I need to get paid, right? So here you go. Like, just in this report, we're bumping into a little bit of, the one that wants to serve, but also realizes that abundance is all around and should get paid for her own work, right? So, should. What a ridiculous word. But it is true. Yeah. Well, for some reason, that just puts me off into a whole different thing, and spirit is like out the window, right? And I've done other starts, so now I'm like, okay, and here we are again. But I guess maybe this is a thing to be shown, right? How we can get jutted out, and how spirit goes, whoop, right out the window. But it's not out the window. We just stepped away from them, and we're going, what? What? I can't see. What's going on? Well, move your hands. Move your hands. That's it. And that's finding your worthiness. And that's how you crawl out of the hole. Isn't that interesting? That's how you crawl out of the hole, see out of the clouds and go, okay, do I know how I feel? Yes, I know how I feel. Do I know that I'm worthy and loved? Yes, I know that I'm worthy and loved. Do I know that everything is working out for me? Of course it's always working out for me. And there we are. We have a general nice place to see ourselves and to be right there. And whatever last moment was, it was. And whatever next moment is going to be, it's going to be. And here we are in the now, in the moment. So, I think what just came up, that worthiness of, the things that we do, healing, art, music, haven't been revered, valued in our society for a long time. But this is the new golden age. So it is for us to step up and say, yes, I am worthy. This is a very worthy service that I'm giving. Whatever your service is to others, when it's from a love and light place. And I think most of us are doing this now. I really do. The news is the opposite of what's happening, really. They're finding any reason to have you worry and think that people are inherently nasty and mean. And that is not true. There's millions, billions of us doing all kinds of things exactly like you and I are doing, whatever that may be. So, tapping into the collective consciousness, trusting your instincts, trusting the vibes that you get, what you like, what you don't like. It's still always sifting through the contrast. I know I don't like that, so now I know I want something more like this. Do you need to know exactly, specifically? No. If you do, great. If you don't, great. Put that out there. So, here we are. I think we're in a pivotal place where we can take all of the understanding that we've gone through, especially in the last year. Like, let's break it down. Of course, your whole life, you always come with you. But in the last year and in the last 2.5 months of trials and tribulations, thanks to Mars being in retrograde, right? And so now, taking our time and moving forward, we have until the full moon to look around. Full moon's on the 19th. See what's going on. Take your time. Get some good footing for the start of the race. And before I go, I did a reading about the next 3 days with a client of mine. She wanted to hear the goddess guidance cards that I used last week. And so I picked about the next few days, and I picked the same 3 cards that I picked for last week's spirit therapy in the same order. Sacred space, quiet time, and sorceress. And then for another, I was like, if this is easy does it, I'm gonna lose it because it's always thrilling. But for the message now, it was Athena, inner wisdom. Follow your instincts. Let your inner voice be your guide, and don't let anyone or any circumstance tell you otherwise. And that is the message for this week. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a beautiful week and enjoy yourself in love and light. I bid you good night.